I'm live. Monday live stream. We'll see if this is any better. There is a storm. There's a storm happening right now. Calico Basin is joining. Hey, Calicos, everyone. I ended the live and then started the new one because everyone said it was like insanely blurry. So, but there is like a storm going on, so I don't know if that was part of the issue. Ken's checking in from Pittsburgh. Oh, it's better. Okay. Well, I guess I just needed to end it and start over. Yeah, 240 is ridiculous. Yeah, 240 is definitely terrible in this day and age. We're not willing to accept 240. All right. Blurry, sorry, I can't watch. It's giving me a headache, Ed says. Okay. Well, most everyone else is saying it's better, so you might have to like reset your device back. Yeah, and I might even be able to. I mean, does that look fairly clear? It's crazy because I can't tell. Like the screen that I'm seeing, it looks very good, right? So Michael says somewhat better. Much better, says some people. I mean, it's not going to show up in like 1080 or 4K, not on a live stream. You know what I mean? So, all right. Let's see. NHRIC says fine. Rob's too close to Canada. That's why the blurry. Oh, because of the Chinese balloons. That could be. That could be. You never know. Let's see. John is here. Dr. Bob's is wearing his 8-bit brew and drinking coffee. I had a coffee when I got back because I just needed a little kick. But I didn't pick up an 8-bit, and there was still one there Sunday. I only picked up one watch when I was at Wind Up San Francisco. And once we get about 100 people, I'll talk maybe more about that if I get 100 people on the live. But obviously, in case you guys were hiding under a rock under my previous videos, Greg says it's back to blurry now. I don't know. There's a storm going by right now, so maybe it's storm, maybe it's my internet connection. The more people that join, the blurry it's get. I don't know. Could be the storm. Maybe we just don't do a live today. I'm okay with that. If you guys are okay with that, I'm pretty tired anyway. It's the Russians. I love the new Jack Mason logo. I'm more Bambino Gen 4. Could have done without. Yeah, because if it's blurry, you guys aren't going to enjoy it at all. I know it's even like in 720, it's not good, but I want to show too much. I want to show watches, and I want to be able to talk about it really good. And Mark just chimed in. He said he's half dead, but he had a lot of. I don't know how the brands do it. Like the guys running the booths and everything. That is a tough job. It's like I don't envy them. Like all I'm doing is walking around talking to everybody. They're like stationary, so just talking and talking about the same thing over and over too. So, you know what I mean? So, how many times can you tell the same story over and over? It's got to be brutal. It has to be brutal. I might actually for the Chicago Wind Up show, which is in July, I think. I might see about stepping behind a couple of booths if the brand owners are cool with it and work the table a little bit. Maybe have that level of interaction. It might be kind of fun to see what that's like from that perspective. You know, obviously I'd have to step away when watches are going to be sold or whatever. I'm not going to be able to sell watches, but I could just be there and like talk about them. Let's see. Keep going, says JS. Oh my God. Yeah. So that's the thing is I have so many stories. Fedora Gent, I have a story with him even. Real quick, I can tell you that one. Todd Whitehouse with the $5 here super chat says, thanks for getting Christopher Ward booth footage at the San Francisco. First glimpse of the snow leopard I ordered. Also excited to finally meet the end of the month. Yes. So the Christopher Ward booth, There was quite a few booths that were almost there was never a spot where I could get in cleanly and see, like, all of it. That mostly or all of that video I recorded on Sunday. Sunday at these shows, it's like, it's still busy, but there's room. Like, Saturday, it was insane. MM10 is here, he was at the show too. Yeah, Saturday was it's too busy, but in the same perspective, it's like it's fun because there's a level of energy there that isn't there on Sunday. So if you were gonna pick one day to go and actually look at watches, I would say go Sunday or maybe Friday. Maybe Friday's a little bit slower too. But if you go, if you're going there for the energy and the excitement of the show itself and the people and everything, then go Saturday. Saturday's going to have that level of energy for sure. But for me, I'm going to start just going both days. Traditionally, I was going on Saturday, but I'm going to start going Saturday and Sunday. In New York City last year, they said Friday was the busiest, Sunday was pretty dead. So, yeah. So I think Saturday, Sunday, if you're going to go 2 days, go Saturday, Sunday. If you want energy, go Saturday. If you want a little more freedom to, look at the watches, go Sunday. Dr. Bob says the beer was $9. Yeah, I mean, water, I think I paid like 4 or $5 for a bottle of water. Yeah, the beverages at the shows are super expensive, so but you don't need to drink a bunch anyway, so yeah, just like a Phillies game beer. I thought it was the best to go Friday because the brand still had everything. I tried looking for you, Rob. No luck. I wasn't there on Friday. I flew in late on Friday. Breakfast was expensive too. Yeah, yeah. The breakfast because a lot of these guys that we're talking to in the chat stayed at the same place. We all stayed at the Clancy. Nathan says that he was a hip flask. Yeah, he probably sneak some in, but um, yeah, the breakfast at the Clancy was like $39 plus whatever if you're going to do gratuity or something. You do get like a $25 credit on it, but it's a it's a little buffet thing, like similar to a continental breakfast, and it was $39. It was pretty crazy. Everything around there is like pretty expensive. It just is what it is. Breakfast extortion. Well, we didn't have to eat there. We could have went somewhere else, but it is what it is. Good group picks on Discord. Yes, I agree. You'll need to find a McDonald's next time. I didn't see any fast food stuff around there. Should have done brunch at the Fairmont. Yeah, we had a lot of options. It was super convenient is the thing. Even like for dinner, if you can call it that, Sunday evening, I just ordered a grilled cheese and fries and sat down in the lobby at the hotel and just ate it there. And I don't even know. I left before the waitress even came back, so they just charged it to my room. It was probably $100. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure it was ridiculous, but I didn't want to go anywhere, so I just dealt with it. Just is what it is. You're going to pay for some of that convenience in the location. Chrono Craze didn't get to go this year. It was the Chrono the show was totally different vibe this year versus last year. So that's the other thing. San Francisco wind up show this year was pretty big. There was a ton upstairs, and then some bigger brands downstairs. Mark, yeah, I'm feeling better now. But Mark from Long Island Watch or Islander Watch, he was as soon as you walk in the door, great location. As soon as you walk in the door, you turn left, he's right there. I mean, Mark is standing right there, and then the booth was right there. So great location for Islander Watch. That was really cool. I had of course, they had a ton of watches, great watches there. I think he had more watches. I could be wrong, but I think he had more watches at the New York show, and he'll probably do that again. Just logistically, it's easier for them to have more watches because they're closer to home base. So, and earlier in the year, I was thinking I probably wasn't going to go to the New York show, but now that I'm inspired, now that Islander Watch and Mark, footed the bill, got me out to San Francisco wind up. It like rejuvenated that. I needed that kick, right? And I'm thankful of Mark and for doing that for me because it really inspired me to like get back out there and do the shows. I think the shows are great. Oh yeah, Daniel, We met the Watch Crunch guy upstairs. That was really cool. He was making the rounds. Actually, he was over at the Notice booth. He was talking to Wes and Cullen, and then we kind of like made the connection. We're like, wait, okay, yeah. So then we knew each other, and then Daniel, talked to him for a little bit. So that was pretty cool. Anonymous Watch Guy says he's hoping to make the Chicago one. I'm going to go to the Chicago one as well. Of course, Mark Islander Watch is going to be there as well as quite a few other brands. Trying to remember, I was talking to so many brands. There's quite a few brands, and I think this was the case last year too, that there's going to be quite a few different brands at each show. Like they're not, there's a lot of the brands will do all three shows, right? But then there's, I don't know if it's like 50% or something, but they're only going to do like maybe probably two shows. I mean, like I can't remember if Notice. I was talking to Wes and Cullen. I think they're going to do. They did San Francisco, and I think they're going to do Chicago, but I don't know if they're doing New York. I can't remember what they said they were doing, but yeah. So there's going to be, you're going to get a different vibe at each one. Just like I met the guys at Vero there, which they're a West Coast company. So we might not see them at Chicago or New York. I'm not 100% sure. I didn't ask them. But then on the flip side, you're going to see some East Coast or Midwest companies at the Chicago one or the New York one. So, I guess my point is hit whatever show you can hit. But if you can hit two shows, you're going to see different watches. You're going to see different brands. It's pretty wild. What did Zodiac have? Zodiac it does the bigger display. So like Oris and Christopher Ward does. So Zodiac had quite a few there. Of course, they had other props there. They had like diving bell helmets, and of course, they had all their pros. Like I collect the pro divers, but they had some of the non-diver watches. I don't know that they had. Well, they got the new like rainbow skeleton looking one. They had that there, of course. But I don't think there's anything. I didn't spend a ton of time at the Zodiac booth, so I don't remember seeing anything there that was like brand new, other than that new skeleton dial one, which that movement is really good, the way they constructed it. Back to the story, I was talking about what Fedora Gent did. I got to tell you this real quick because he's chiming in still too. So I hung out with him all day, right? And he's like, he was tired too. So he bounced. So John took off, went back home because he lives like 20 miles away or something. So I thought it was done. We said our goodbyes and everything like that. So I'm making my rounds, I'm getting video and everything. And then right downstairs, like right before you go upstairs, downstairs area, Monta was camped out right there. So I'm talking to the Monta guys and having a good time. And he's even showing me, sometimes I'll get sneak peek at uh, new models that are coming out that are going to be embargoed. I can't share them, sort of thing. They'll share that information with me, which is awesome, but I got to be careful with it. And out of my peripheral vision, out of my right side, I see a fedora hat because his name is Fedora Gent, and because he wears a fedora hat. So I see this fedora hat going by me, and I'm like, oh, whoa, whoa, and I pat him on the back right shoulder, and I'm like, John. And so he turns like he was on a mission. He was on a mission to go back upstairs to the Baltic guys because he had worked a deal with the Baltic guys on a particular watch, a bronze one. And I must have bugged him to the point where he went home, probably had an espresso or something like that, and then wasn't going to let it go. He came back. He was on a mission to get that Baltic, and I snagged him. Unfortunately, I was too busy talking to other people. I didn't go up there to watch him buy it. I like to do that. I like to watch people buy the watches, but it was cool that he came back and did that. So, yeah, Fedora Jack cleaned house at the show. I'll tell you that much. He pretty much every watch that he thought he liked, he bought. So, pretty boss move. So he might be tapped out with buying for a little bit because I think he dropped a little bit of cash there. The count was 6, yeah. So he picked up 6 watches, which is a lot of watches to pick up. But sometimes these shows, if you're a buyer and you really like the micro brands, you're gonna get a little bit better deal at the show. Maybe you get a little bit of swag. You get the romance of that personal connection with the brand owners or ambassadors. So sometimes the show is the place to get it. Whether some of them, they don't have them there to sell, some do, like Alan at Zao, he brought quite a few to sell, so, like, people were buying the Zows, and they were taking them home. I think, Fedora Jant bought one, I think Tim bought one. I was even yeah, Tim's right there. He picked one up, he picked up a bronze one from the Legend lineup, I think. Just so, um, yeah, and I think quite a few other people did too. Who else had stuff to sell? I think there was limited quantity in some other things. I'm not sure who else. I will say um, this one's really cool and tucked way upstairs, tucked way, yeah, right here, Sean, this one, okay? Tucked way back in the left corner upstairs was Momentum. Great group of guys, right? And there was a woman there too, so she was really cool. Magnum PI, yes. So we pretty much did a run on this watch. The little group that I was hanging out with, once I'm trying to think because I wasn't there Friday, so I think it might have been John. I think John Page maybe knew that they were up there and they knew they had some because these are sold out like all the time online, and it was driving me nuts because I knew I wanted one from another buddy of mine. Yeah, Tim bought two. So yeah, we pretty much cleaned them out. We pretty much, and I don't know how many they had, but maybe 10 or so. Because I think John picked up two, Tim picked up two, which some of them were proxy buys. They were Daniel bought one. I forgot Daniel bought one too. Yeah, Mark says the Momentum guys were really nice. That's really cool. Oh yeah, and then I was talking to Mark about that too. The brand, and I got to research that still too. Is Old Saint Moritz watch rebranded? Cool story. So I got to research that too before I do the video. Okay, John said there was like 15 of them. Yeah, see, Fedora John. We don't know what we don't know, right? Now we're learning and we're gonna find out more. So very cool watch. So I got one and I picked up another one for a buddy. So I actually picked up two as well. Ah, Jay Seiko says, heard of Momentum Field Watch from a Nut and Fancy review. I don't know if any of you guys follow a Nut and Fancy channel. I'm a OG. I go a long ways back with Nut and Fancy, so that's pretty cool. Chrono Sport. So the Chrono Sport is different, and I'm not really going to show the watch right now, but I do have one. Yeah, Mark TMP. But they are different. And I was another buddy of mine actually showed me this watch, so I picked one up. But they are completely different. I really only wanted to show watches that were at the wind up show, but part of the channel and part of the Tactadoodle. Yep, the owl is on the shed. I mean, I don't know if you guys know all the code words and everything, but so part of having like the library, the massive watch collection that I'm acquiring to build up is so that we can share, we can show these different models next to each other. So I'm going to continue that. We're going to really ramp this up. I'm probably pushing somewhere between 150 and 200 watches right now. I'm kind of targeting the 500 watch library size probably by the end of the year. We'll see if we can make that happen, and then catalog it and everything like that. We'll be able to loan watches out. We'll be able to take them on a tour essentially, maybe like 1 or 2 stops per year in different parts of the US. So people can come and see all the different brands all at once, that maybe you didn't have the opportunity to go to a wind up or a district time or something like that. So yeah, this is a very cool watch, whether it's on the bracelet or the strap. I think it works probably really good on the strap. I'll end up probably taking the bracelet off this one and putting an orange strap on it. Um, yeah, I really do like the bracelet. So this is the only watch I picked up was this. So I picked up this watch. There was other watches I was looking at buying, but a couple of ones that I kind of wanted to buy, they didn't have inventory there to sell, which I understand some of the companies, depending on their origin, it is I don't want to say impossible, but it's like it's more trouble than it's worth for them to do that. So I get why they didn't have the inventory there to sell. But when you go to these shows, did Monta show you the new Ocean King? Yes, Sean. when I was talking to the yeah. Yes. I know what it looks like. It's it's a very good looking watch, and there's some new uh there's new stuff with the new Ocean King that is going to be impressive. However, the price, and I even said it to them when they told me the price of it. I was like, "Ouch, that's up there, right?" So, yeah, there's some new patents with it for sure, and I'm gonna get one. They're sending me one to video, so as soon as it comes out, I'll have it to video. I Sorry, I was doing this while I was talking to you guys because yeah, because I've been waiting to do that. So this is how I'll probably wear mine for a little bit because I can't get enough of these strap habit straps, guys, and then these camo ones are ridiculous. Gunner Kicks, can I please have a watch? Yeah, you can have a watch. Just go buy one, and then you'll have a watch. And I'm the first to check out a watch from your library. Brave Sailor is the first to check out. I don't know. I've sent a lot of watches, a lot of places. I got a lot of watches out on loan right now. Orange camo straps. Yep. Celine. Yeah, just the dots. I love it. Yeah, Dane's probably wishing it would go super blurry right now, right? Oh, from my collection. Yeah, I don't think that's how you go about getting a watch, Gunner. I think there's a better tactic. Oh, the Game Boy. Yeah, I forgot. I forgot I loaned that to you. It's not the first, but it's the first one that I've loaned you, probably from the library, maybe. Better heal him by showing a Zelos. The Game Boy. Strap needs a Zelos. Maybe Long Island can do an orange camo. Maybe, but I'm having a good time with Strap Habit, and maybe it's weird, but like I'm semi loyal. You know, when I start dealing with a company or a brand, like I'll have like a bond with them essentially. So yeah, there you go. Mark says no, he's out. He doesn't want the orange camo. So you're safe. You're not going to get orange camo from Mark. You probably don't have enough. That's okay. Uh, yeah, Gunner, I don't have enough watches. I can't give one away. Sorry. Loomed orange camo. That'd be interesting. I have an orange camo for my Horus. From Oh yeah, they do make those right for the Panerai. Those are cool. This is pretty thick now. Yeah, it's not for everybody. New batch of random Rob hats should be an orange camo. Chrono, I've been trying to think of something new to do. I'm gonna see if they can embroider that. That's probably not something they can do, but maybe I could do a patch. I like where your head is at. I'm gonna give you credit on that one, Chrono, if I can pull it off. Because I gave away a couple hats. I think I have one hat left. Um, and so I'm going to order a new batch. And I thought about doing something different instead of doing the all black again. Let's see. The next person who suggests a Zelos with orange camo is getting timed out. Dane's looking to time somebody out. So, and I guarantee you he threw that out there. So someone's probably going to do it. But let's see. Off the cuff question: favorite micro brand and one brand that you don't think will last. Hmm. My favorite micro brand, that is a tough one because some of them might not be classified as micro brand. Um, okay, first of all, I don't we were having a discussion earlier about what if people thought Islander watch is a micro brand. I don't think they are. I'm trying to figure out what to name Islander watch under. Um, but as far as a favorite micro brand, I would have like a top 5 maybe. It's You gotta understand, guys, I'm infatuated with micro brands. So for me to just choose one is nearly impossible. It's gonna be a balance, you know, like I'm a huge fan of Notice, but not all their stuff, right? Like I know people are really digging this one, and actually I met up with I think his name was Kevin real quick, and he actually ended up buying one of these right where I was there. So that was really cool. Um, but that's, this isn't something that resonates with me from the brand. But, on the flip side, like I love the Notice Deep. I have the Notice. Uh, Avalon in bronze. I'm a big fan of that. And then you get like Zhao. Alan Zhao is crushing it. He's killing it with his colors and his styles. And then this movement that he did, that's really cool. And he's a micro brand, so he's killing it. Vero, they're doing some really cool stuff. And they don't have like a massive wide range necessarily. They have some good colorways. So they're really nailing down the overall design of the watch, and then they're expanding the colorways, right? So, yeah, John Page, the Notice Retrospect. I'm actually working with Wes and Cullen on a Random Rod limited edition Notice Retrospect, so that'll probably happen this year. Still, we're going to finalize that soon. We were hoping to have more of a conversation on that watch, but we just didn't really have the time. So, but Vero, I'm going to work with those guys. I want to get that diver. That one's really cool too. Um, Trying to think who else, because I don't have a ton. I think I grabbed most of the stuff I have, so I'd have to like go off memory, and my memory's kind of wonky right now. But yeah, Alan is awesome. He's yeah, Troska's really good. I'm so Nathan, you're right. I'm so focused on the ones that were at the show, but there's so many micro brands that weren't at the show, like RZE and Troska and uh, I mean, Canopy and there's some of those younger ones too are inspiring. Like I mentioned, Canopy. Um, I don't think Boulder's really a micro brand anymore. There's some like deep track ones too, Dryden. But then that goes into the topic of like you wanted me to mention a brand that I don't think will be around in a while. I'm not going to do that, but I think the ones that are in that weird limbo area, that because you have like the entry level ones where the guys still have like a day job, and then they do a micro brand on the additionally, right? They're probably more likely to actually survive because they're not counting on the income from selling watches to provide for their livelihood. They have a day job, right? So they have some level of sustainability, as weird as that sounds, because they're not going full in, you know throwing all their chips in on the bet, right? So the ones that are a little premature on going all in, and then if something weird happens, those are the ones that I worry about. And beyond that, you have the ones that are established, and as long as they are fairly conservative with their financing and stuff like that, they'll do okay. Yeah, Tim, 100%. I agree. Raven, awesome. Zelos, Zhao, and Draken, those are like four champs in the industry. I think they're doing really good in the microbrand segment for sure. I agree with you. Great answer. Those are sweet brands. Thank you for your insight. Buying Yak is here. Ben, I could go on and on with it, but like I have to like kind of focus on it. And I got to a certain extent, I have to be careful what I say about what brands too, just because I don't want to like cause any riff with anybody. Too many just buy up name and make up a history with a release. That's also true. Calico Basin has a good point. They're playing on the brand name. I don't really have a problem with that. Eric is asked, says, how did you like the Walbrook? I was actually surprised by Walbrook, and they have like it's three brands, I think, because there's Douglas, Walbrook, and then a three-letter one. Was it RGE or something? I can't remember what it was. It was like three letters. Actually, if Brave Sailor's still here, he might be able to shed some light on it, because I think he picked up they're doing a limited edition run of a oh shoot, Neil Armstrong wore one of those Walbrooks. I don't think he took it up to space or whatever, but he like wore it in his personal life. I think that was the story. Yeah, you did order one, okay. So the Walbrooks are the ones that I like are very similar to this case. The case is very similar, right? And they're really well built. They're very cool watches and affordable price points. So, but they have some other ones too. Like my buddy Tennessee Mike had a different case shape. So, yeah, the X15. That's what Brave Sailor picked up. Great looking watch, and it has a limited edition commemorative case back on that one. So, Let's see. Let's see. The Islander in the back left corner looks solid. This guy here, it is. I had the blue one, remember? So he did, I think, four colorways. There was the green one, the full white one, which was all loom, and then the green one, and then shoot, what was the fourth color? I think it was just black, actually. So a full titanium case, kind of like a SKX style case. Oh, Tennessee Mike had the World Time. So I'm pretty sure that's basically what Brave Sailor bought, but he bought the X15 limited edition one. So titanium hardware. Anonymous Watch Guy has the green. I bought the blue because I had gotten rid of my Pelly, my Tudor Pelly at one point, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a, a good, I don't want to say replacement, but a nice like alternative potentially. But Mark sent over this green one for me to wear at the show, and I'm digging it. And I look around, I really don't have any green watches, so this one's pretty cool, and it wore great. So because I wore this one a little bit, it was a little bit loose, so I wore this one on my right. Yeah, it's a nice fitted strap. So I wore this one on my right wrist because my right wrist wears a little bit larger size than my left, which most people will. Your offhand will be a little bit larger. So I wore this one, and then I think I wore this one on my left for Sunday. And this one I'm really digging way more than I thought I would because I don't traditionally go after. Oh, that's right, Tim. You picked up the blue one that I sold. Um, so I traditionally don't go after black coated watches, but man, this one with the full loom dial is just, it's slick. And then it has this one was really cool. When I wasn't expecting a display case back, I guess, when I opened it up and I was like, whoa. So that's cool that they showed off the AmeriQuartz on this guy. So, and this wears very good. Nice taper on the bracelet, and it's very comfortable. See, he's back, no problems. I'm missing what you guys are talking about. Now this, I don't know if you guys seen my MRG. I wanted to wear this, but I didn't want to take anything that was really expensive. Let's see. I gotta go back here. Let's see. Hey Rob, one question. Do you recommend to buy the retro LED watch by Armatron? I don't know a ton about it. I'd have to research it, so I can't advise you on that. Ben says you picked up the Zin 903 the other day. Your review on it a year ago helped. That is a killer watch. Let's see. Calico says, saw those at the show. Very nice. Matt Mark. He was nice, but had an intense 5 o'clock shadow. That's his. It wasn't a 5 o'clock shadow. That's his beard, right? Scared me. Oh my God. You're nuts, Calico. Okay. You know who makes a great watch? Weiss in Nashville. Yeah, Cameron Weiss and his wife Whitney and the whole team over there, they're killing it. They're doing a good job. Maybe one of these days I'll get down there and check it out, but they have a heck of a thing going. There's going to be some more of that American type style watches being made and stuff like that. Like you want to talk about taking it even up a notch is the guys over at Vortec. So they're out in Colorado, and yeah, they're doing some crazy stuff. And you got to remember, they struggled with lawsuit or litigation against them for, I mean, they were upcycling, but it was being claimed that they were using the name of Hamilton without proper use or something. So, and they won, right? So, I think they're going to send me pretty soon. I got to touch base with them this week, but I think Vortec is going to send me their new watch that just came out, and it's a smaller case. Like a lot of those cases are really big, and a lot of people can't wear them, but they have a new case they come out with that's only 43 millimeter, and it's still stainless steel, but it's so light. And the reason it's light is because to get it that size, they had to just reduce the thickness of the wall because the movement didn't change. The movements are still pocket watch movements. So, yeah, it's pretty sick movement, and it's called the Victory Watch. So I can't wait to get that one. Yeah, the 43 would work. I put it on. I have some pictures of it on and stuff like that. It's totally wearable. Oh, internet. It might be the storm, guys. If it goes crap out, I mean, we've had a pretty good run. So, is it too bad? Screen is clear. And great price, especially on the gray market. Click the word live at the screen might help. What are you talking about? Me? That doesn't do anything. Chris, the watch lounge is tapping out. He's done. He's going to go do something else. I'm supposed to time out to so watch people. Can't remember the rules. I don't remember that conversation about that. I do feel bad. So, real quick, if anyone's still paying attention, the story is I'm going to give you the rundown. My schedule, right? Oh, you guys. So, I. You're fine, Dr. Bob. So I showed up to San Francisco. I flew from northern Michigan, layover in Chicago. I had a 3-hour layover in Chicago. I'm going to give you the rundown. Let's just talk about it real quick, right? Will Carey's here. He was there too. But so I fly from northern Michigan, layover in Chicago, 3 hours. I bought a 1-day pass to the Admiral Club. It's $60. I was like, oh, cool. I'll get free food and free drinks, right? Well worth it. So I go into the Admiral Club. I think my first mistake was, right, that I went in out of the buffet. I had some jerk chicken or something. That may have been part of the issue that occurred later on. I don't know. But then the food on the buffet that was free wasn't really worth getting. I don't know. It wasn't that great. So then I ordered some like boneless chicken wings, and then I ordered a caprese sandwich, but I ended up not eating the bread because it was too tough. The food at the Admiral Club is crap. Is my point. Okay, it wasn't. None of it was good. In the free drinks, I guess, but I could have done without the drinks because I ordered. Basically, I had 2 doubles neat of Evan Williams, which Evan Williams is fine. I don't have a problem with Evan Williams. But having 2 doubles maybe wasn't smart either, right? So then I get on the plane. I do all that. I had a 3-hour layover, so I was just killing time talking to people and doing stuff. So then I get on the plane from Chicago to San Francisco, and on the plane I had a gin and tonic because I like gin and tonic, whatever. And I was able to eat a dinner. So what did I have for dinner? Oh, it was just veggies. It was like veggies and rice. So I'm usually fine with that. I had veggies and rice for dinner today. That's usually not an issue with me. But I really think it was the food at the Admiral Club, to be honest with you. The rule is that you have to drink doubles to use St. Well, that was the other thing. I never felt intoxicated that whole time. Even drinking the whiskey and stuff like that, I never felt like I never had a buzz or anything. So I had the right food drink ratio. So I never felt like intoxicated at all. So then I get in late to San Francisco. MM10, who was in the chat earlier, I don't know if he still is, picks me up. Back up a second. Daniel, Brave Sailor, actually landed at about the same time. And then, so then both of us got a ride with MM10 to the Clancy. And then Michael took off, but Daniel and I hung out with Tim and Fedora Gent at the Clancy lobby. And Fedora Gent was kind enough to get a bottle of Screwball so we could all partake. And we drank. There wasn't much left of it. And now this is at, I don't know, 11, 12. It was late. So it had to have been pushing after midnight California time, which would be like 3 a.m. for me. Okay, Fedora Gent. So, wait, we stayed up till 3 a.m. in California time? See, this is where I think this is part of the problem. Okay. So I didn't go to bed, so 3 a.m., I basically stayed up all night. So 3 a.m. California time, it would be like 6 a.m. to me. So I stayed up all night. I ate a bunch of crap food and had obviously too much to drink. I have a 3 hour time difference. So I went to bed and I woke up at 6 a.m. California time, obviously with a hangover, a headache. I took a couple of Excedrin, drank some water, had a breakfast, doing my thing, right? Will Carey actually hooked me up. He went and got some Pedialyte for me and gave me some potassium. So that actually helped. That got rid of my hangover. That was gone. So then I was good. But then the stomach problem happened later. I did the show pretty much all day Saturday. And throughout the day, I started feeling more and more sour, like in my stomach. And then I ended up leaving the show at like 4 p.m. Saturday and basically became a recluse into my hotel room. I didn't drink anything Saturday. Well, technically I did because I drank till 3 a.m. But so, yeah, I think I just did too much everything, essentially. Never got sick, just felt sick. I did make an appearance Saturday night at about 9 p.m., I think, or 8 or 9 p.m., down in the lobby where like all my crew was hanging out. There was Calico, Tim, Will Carey, Michael Pearson was there from Zodiac with another guy from Zodiac. I forget his name. James Duffy was there. There was a couple wives there. John Page was there. I honestly, Edward, I would have been better off with Malort, honestly, because Malort I would have at least hallucinated too, because it's wormwood. So we had a great group of people going. So I'm sitting there trying to come back to life, and then they ordered pizza. I love pizza, guys. Pizza's my kryptonite. That pizza showed up, and I looked at it, and I smelled it, and I had to leave because I felt sick again instantly. I was like, I gotta go. So I went back up to the room and bailed on him again. I felt so bad because I wanted to hang out. I know that pizza probably was really good, but I was wrecked, man. It made me feel sick again. So like I was wrecked. So I basically went to bed. Simon, at our age, iffy food plus alcohol equals. You say that, but like literally, what, a month or two ago, I did damn near the same thing. But I didn't have any weird foods, and I guarantee I drank even more in DC, and I had none of those problems. I didn't have a hangover. I didn't have any stomach issues or nothing. So I really think I had some bad chicken or something at the Admiral Club. I'm gonna blame American Airlines because I think they're easy to victimize. Um, they canceled one of my flights before. They made me have to halfway run across O'Hare today. So I'm just gonna blame American Airlines. That there's no way it can be my fault. So, uh, so yeah, Sunday morning I got up, had a quick breakfast with Brave Sailor and Fedora Gent because at that point most people had left, and then I went for a long walk. I kind of wanted to be by myself, clear my mind, and just kind of walk off any sort of sour feeling I had or anything. So I went for a long walk. I walked all the way down to where all the piers are, walked all the way down the piers, did Pier 39, checked out the seals, looked at Golden Gate, looked at Alcatraz, from shore. And then Fedora Gent and Brave Sailor whipped around later on because I had already walked a few miles and picked me up and then gave me the tour of San Francisco. And then I hurried up and got back over to the wind up show, and I spent the wind up show Sunday all day, and I was way better on Sunday. So I was able to like focus and have conversations and actually be slightly productive on Sunday. So big thanks to everybody that helped out with that trip. I really appreciate it. Hey, Just the Watches here, man. I'd love to go to one of those shows. Yeah, I hear that. You get different countries and stuff like that. People from the European countries are even saying they wish they would have some of these shows like this where there's primarily micro brands, but of course there's boutique brands or whatever you want to call them. Like the Zodiac and the Islander and the um, Christopher Wards and the Oris, and there was a ton of G Shocks there. Um, I'm trying to think some of the other bigger brands. Fortis was there. Fortis isn't a micro brand. That's a beyond that by now. You know what I mean? So there's a ton of those brands all mixed in there. I mean, Citizen was there, but I think they're part of the Citizen group. So you had like Citizen. Um, oh shoot, I'm so bad with names too. I met so many great people. Nick V is here. Thanks for joining. But yeah, so when you have the Citizen kind of collective there, so you get Citizen, um, Boulevard, Alpina, um, I forget all of them. So Islander, our boutique brand. I don't know what we can call Islander. Like I don't even know that we really need to name it, but I'm still thinking about it. So I will probably like come up with a better descriptive word. Yeah, Frederic Constant was well, actually I don't know if they had any of those there, Mike. I don't remember seeing those. Yeah, Bulova was there for sure. And I didn't really get a good video of that table, unfortunately. Just I ran out of time. I honest. Oh, okay. Mark said FC was there. See, I just missed it. Is all. So, what was I gonna say? Or I'm losing my train of thought. Yeah, Citizen was definitely there. I had a good time talking to those guys. I would love to see Jeff McMahon do a solo panel at a watch show. I don't know. Yeah, almost like a consulting table. Yeah, I don't know if the watch show would support that. So Von Krul is wearing his lunar pilot today, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, they had those there. I did see those. Oh, okay, Brave Sailor. That kind of makes sense. That actually works. Long Island watch or island watches are kind of like a fan service watch. That actually makes sense. That's a pretty good description, really, because you got to think about it. Um, and actually, I want to talk about that real quick because, for example, this is part of the reason why it stimulated me doing a lot of this, right? So, uh, what is that? SPG 565 just said, when is the Amagan? I can never say that. Amagansett coming out. I didn't know he was going to make that model. I got a little backstory on that, but we'll cover it another time. But I was looking at the Islander watch table, and he's got basically an orange monster looking watch like this, but it's more it's got the square markers, so it's more like a first gen or a third gen, but it looks like a second gen. It's pretty cool, right? So and his price point on it is like 299 or something. I got this watch as a gift from my wife back in 2014. So 2014 was like a good transition year for a lot of Seiko divers because it was pre Prospex X. So if I move the hands out of the way, there's no Prospex X there. A lot of people didn't like that. I really didn't care either way. And then they transitioned into those later. But shortly, or not after 2014, but where I'm going with the story is not that long ago, we used to be able to buy those watches for $200. And then Seiko a couple years ago basically restructured their entire pricing structure with a lot of watches. And then that's when we all started to complain. We're like, they basically got rid of the discounts because the retail price on those old monsters was still probably like 595, 495, 59, excuse me, 595. But we were so used to paying like 40 and 50% discounts on them. So they took that away from us. They took away that availability for that. And then we started to complain because then we didn't see the value in it as great as we did before. But all it takes is a little bit of a timeline, and then that thought process goes away. It's a restructure in the price. But right about that same time is when Islander watches came out. Well, Islander watches have a similar style watch, right? It better in specs in most cases because ceramic bezels, sapphire crystals, and then hacking, hand winding, all that stuff. So they had the specs that we wanted, but at the prices that we were used to before. So, like Brave Sailor said, it's a fan service. Uh, It is a fan serviced branded watch. I think that's an accurate description. It was the timing of it was perfect. It gave the watch community that was focused on those values and price points a watch they could buy that they used to be able to buy in Seiko, but it was taken from them without any sort of control from their part. It was replaced with Islander watch. It's a fan service brand. That makes sense. And Brave Sailor coined it. So I don't know if that flows very well, but it 100% makes sense. Okay, where are we at here? I rambled long enough about that. Fine Naval Jewelry says, I'm a huge fan of the Prospex SPB line, but at $900, yeah, that's the problem. They're still a great watch. I agree. I don't think I have one. I might have one over here. I do actually kind of have one SPB over here, but I'm not going to dig it out. But yeah, they're like $1,000. So it's a harder pill to swallow when you can go get something with similar specs for half the price in a micro brand or a fan service brand or something, So we work hard for our money, and that's becoming even more important as we're in the financial climate that we're in right now. So we have to make better decisions. And thank God there's so many great brands out there that give us those options. Thank you, Dane, for the warning. Any experience, Rob, with ISO bright watches? Doesn't ring a bell, Kirk. It does not ring a bell. Yeah, Dane, thanks for that because I'm looking at my counter. I always look at my timer counter on my live thing, and it says like 51 minutes, but I forgot that I started that one stream. It wasn't good, and then I restarted. So thanks for the 2-minute warning. I was not keeping good track of that. This thing is so dang cool, guys. There's so many great watches out there. And look at this. I mean, couple $100 is what this watch is, essentially, if you can get it. They're hard to get, right? Hopefully they're going to ramp up production and stuff like that. I talked to them a little bit about that too. Let's see. Anybody get the new, I know way off topic, but did anybody get the new Timex Ironman Huckberry Limited, I guess, edition? This thing is cool. I'm like surprised how well I like this and how comfortable it is. I'm going to do the video on it as soon as I can, but I just got it in recently. I just didn't know if anybody else had got one. Yeah, the Islander on the orange strap is definitely my vibe. It's definitely my vibe. The bracelet is still a good bracelet, and it does look good on that. It kind of makes it a little more blingy, a little more dressy. But and I'm typically a bracelet guy, but man, these yeah, these orange straps from Strap Habit, I've been really digging, and I can almost put them on anything. Probably gonna order some other colors because obviously you can't put orange on everything, even though I attempt to, like the Visitor and the Unimatic, um, the Zao, the here, I'm gonna try to show all these. So, I did these, I did the Zao, and now I got this one on the orange camo, and then of course the Port Jefferson. So, yeah, little obsessed, sure, but aren't we all? Right? So we're all just a little obsessed. I think there's at some point you just don't fight it, and you just kind of embrace that obsession and just go all in. Orange is the new black. Hey, I think they should make a show about that or something. I did the Huckberry Timex Flicks, and it's unbelievably comfortable. I 100% agree with you. You put this thing on, and it is ridiculous. It is so comfortable. Eric E., what did I pay for the MRG Square? Less than retail. That's all I can tell you. I paid less than retail. That's Mitch says that's what that strap is why I got sick. I didn't wear any of the camo straps. I wore on this trip. I did wear the Port Jefferson, and I did wear the Zao one afternoon. But yeah, I didn't even bring any of the camo straps. So yeah, this MRG. So this was my birthday watch, which is, by the way, I really thought it was gonna take longer to get in. So, my birthday's not even well, actually, we're in May now. My birthday's at the end of the month, but so, somebody asked me, "Do you know if the MRG square can fit a resin strap?" Hmm, I don't know. I don't know. Well, you can fit the I know this live stream, we should end it, but let me look at something here real quick. Mm, I don't I think it might be different. It I think it could potentially fit on there, but I don't think it's gonna fit right, judging by looking at this. No, it was just Chrono had asked a question that kind of intrigued me real quick, so I just was checking that. No, I'm done. Before we end the live though, we got to do a loom shot. We got to do because we're talking a lot of micro brands here too, right? So we got to do the loom shot because we have a lot of loom. So and I have not seen the loom on this guy yet. That's actually pretty good. That's pretty good. So um, I love the loom on the Port Jefferson too. They got unique with it, you know. They did around the indices instead of looming the indices. So full loom dial on the AmeriQuartz. Even the Jack Mason showing off quite a bit of loom. This is like an older Islander here. This one's pretty cool. Fortis doing good. This is the Fortis. Let's see what else is over here. Oh, the Zao. Zao has loomed crowns. That's pretty cool. If it'll show up. That probably was really blurry, sorry. And then of course the Zodiac, full loom dial, full loom bezel, ridiculous. Love that one. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next vid.